So, guys, it seems like we're in a world now where the vast majority of people out here want to live in a state where they just avoid the truth at all costs. They want to avoid accountability at all costs. They don't want to do anything. They don't want to do shit. People just want to sit around and scroll on their phone all day long. Play some video game all day long. Watched the same TV shows that they've seen 1,000 times all day long, over and over and over. Um, People want to do anything they can to avoid sitting with themselves and sitting with their own thoughts. And, they want to be surrounded by people constantly, people that don't even give a shit about them, people that they can use to supply their ego, to feed their ego. What can I get out of this person? Um, we're just living in a world now that's very different, and it's kind of shitty. You know what I mean? The world's kind of a shitty place now in 2026. It seems like ever since 2020, the passion in the world has just died. Like people have died as well. You know what I mean? People are dead inside themselves, but they're still alive and walking around, and they're saying words that don't mean anything. They're the conversations they want to have, the things they want to talk about, it doesn't mean a thing. Um, it's just the passion in the world is gone. Have you guys noticed this? Because I've certainly noticed it. People are no longer themselves anymore. People are just gone. Like people are just gone. Nobody wants to get up and do something with their life anymore. Everyone around you is just like a loser. Everybody around you is just a bum. You know what I mean? And don't get me wrong, guys. I don't want to be not compassionate. I am a compassionate person, and I have compassion for people. I know life is hard. I understand in the time we live in right now, there are a lot of external forces that are making things harder. The economy sucks. Technology addiction is through the roof. People can't focus anymore. People's attention spans are gone. So I understand all that. And there are more things other than that that I didn't even touch on. But I still think that despite all of these challenges, all of these things that we have to deal with in this modern society, I still think that you have to be a person who takes accountability and gets up and wants to do things. We all have to work a job, you know what I mean? We all have to make money somehow. Not everyone has to work a job, but for the vast majority of us out here, we all have to work some job. And a lot of the time it's some job that we hate. We don't really want to work it, but we have to do it because the system forces us to do things we don't want to do so we can, make the paper, make the digital numbers so we can live, you know. Unfortunately, that is the world we live in, but again, I still think you have to be someone who has goals. You have to be a person who has things in life that you aspire to do. And it doesn't have to be these big dreams. You don't have to be a person who has these massive, like, scary, big dreams and massive goals that you're trying to achieve. It can just be the smallest shit. You know what I mean? You want to start a YouTube channel. You want to travel to this or that place. You know, you want to start a podcast. Whatever it is that you want to do. You want to start a local business, in your local area, doing whatever, whatever it is that you may want to do. I still think that you have to be a person who wants to do things. You have to let your soul live. You can't just sell your soul and then just be dead and let your life pass you by and never do anything about it and just give up on life. There are a ton of people today who are just giving up on life, and it's sad to see that. It really is. Because I've always been someone who's a passionate person. I've always been someone who has felt like I'm here on the planet to do something with my life. And for whatever reason, it just seems like the majority of people around you just don't share that same they don't share that same way of thinking. They just don't. They're just defeated. Like, they're gone. They're defeated. Life has F them in the ass. You know what I mean? Instead of them effing life in the ass, they just want to sit back and let life F them in the ass. And again, I get it. I get it to a certain extent. I know life is hard, but at the same time, you can't just be a weak person and let life screw you like that. You have to live your life. You don't want to sit back and let life live you, and then all of a sudden, you're in your 40s, you're in your 50s, whatever, and you're asking yourself, what happened? Where did my life go? Well, you never lived your life. You decided not to live your life. You decided to just live in a constant state of distraction the whole time, and you just let life pass you by. You didn't even realize that there was a life right in front of you that you could have done something with. You decided that accountability was something that you just weren't interested in. There are so many people out there where it's like accountability, taking control of your life and saying, I'm going to do this. It's like a foreign concept to them. They don't understand that. You can do things in life, guys. If you want, you have to have the will to do things in life. If you want to do something in life, you can do just about anything you want in life if you are willing to do what it takes and put in the work to do said thing. Whatever it is. Let's say you want to be a chef. Let's say you have since you were a kid, you've had this dream, you've had this goal that you want to be a chef. Well, you can do things to accomplish that. You can buy cookbooks and learn recipes and practice them. You can go to school. You can go to culinary school and learn these things and put in effort to try to become a chef. I'm just using that as an example, but whatever it is, whatever it is that you want to do in life, you can do things in life. You just have to believe in yourself that you can do them. But so many people today are just defeated internally to the point where they don't know who they are, B, they don't know what they want out of life, and C, they just think that you have to go be a slave or something. You got to go be a slave and do crap that you don't want to do, and that's all they want. That's all they can see, right? They don't have a vision for their life. Like I said before, we all have to do things we don't want to do in life. We all have to survive. We all have to work jobs that we don't like sometimes, but I think that when you're working a job, you should be using the job as a tool to prop yourself up to where you want to get to, right? It's not like, oh, I'm just going to work this shitty job doing something that I hate forever until I fucking die and then let my life pass me by completely and never do the things that I want to do in life. Like, what kind of mindset is that? That's a defeatist mindset. That is the worst mindset you can have in life, I think, is just to be defeated. You know what I mean? If you're in the United States especially, you have the opportunity to do the things that you want to do. Again, if you're willing to put the work in. You have to be willing to put the work in. But so many people today in this modern society don't want to put the work in. They just want to be lazy. They just want to sit around and do nothing and then just be defeated. You know what I mean? They want to take the easy route in life. They want to be safe. They don't want to take a risk. They're living in fear. Guys, if you want to be successful in life, you cannot live in fear. You have to be willing to take a risk. You have to be willing to go out there and do the things that you want to do. Try something. You know what I mean? Just try. I'm just a guy talking on a screen right now. You know what I mean? I'm just some guy just like anybody else. But at least I'm trying something. You know what I mean? At least I am trying something in life. A lot of people, they don't even want to try because they can't take accountability. They think that external factors are so strong to where, well, that just means I can't do anything. The world sucks. Things are hard, so I'm just not going to try to do anything at all. I'm just going to sit back and lay on the couch for 12 fucking hours a day and scroll on TikTok and let my brain rot itself out of my skull. It's like, what is going on in this society, guys? What is going on in this society? People have given up. People have given up, guys, for the most part. There are some people that share the same mindset that I do, and odds are, if you have made it this far into the video, you probably share a similar mindset to my own. You're someone who you know, has taken life by the balls and said, I'm going to do this thing for real. You know, I'm going to do something with my life, and just, and that's great. That's great that you have that mindset, you know, but a lot of people just don't. A lot of people don't, guys. So anyways, that's the video. That's the video. Kind of a little bit of a longer one this time, but yeah, if you guys agree, drop a like, subscribe for more. My name is John, and I'm out. Let me know what you guys think in the comments.